Okay, I want to talk about the son. I think he was the best part in the movie. I love Toni Collette in the movie.
Are we spoiler now?
Let's be spoilery.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
And please, honestly, this is one of those movies that you need to go see without spoiling it for yourself.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it and you're a fan of horror films,
turn it off.
Check it out before you finish.
Turn this off.
Turn this off. Check out the movie before you see this part of the review.
And then come back.
Please come back. We need that second view.
Come back.
The son. He was my absolute favorite part of the movie because he takes his sister to a party. He wants to go get high with his friends.
And this girl that he likes.
And so, I mean, it's sympathetic stuff. But
who doesn't want to get high with their friends and the girl that they like?
It's relatively sympathetic stuff because he's not being a bad guy. His mom makes him take his sister.
The girl doesn't even want to go. The kid doesn't want to go. She says that she wants to stay.
The daughter doesn't want to go.
And
guys, okay, all right. So real quick, there's a lot of irritating people commenting on how the daughter looks.
It's pretty messed up.
It is really messed up. Stop it. I mean, it's pretty stupid commenting on. There was a lot of people in the trailer, in the comment section for the trailer of the movie, that were saying she looks scary, and commenting more about her looks. Stop it! Oh my gosh, I just wanted. It's so irritating. It's annoying. What were we? I'm sorry.
I don't remember. Anyway, so continue with what you were saying about
Sorry,
the
it
plot.
just makes me mad thinking about it right now. Because for one, she did a great job.
She does a really good job in the film.
So she's looking for she's looking for something to do. She looks really uncomfortable. The brother tells her to eat chocolate cake. Earlier in the film, you see them cutting up a bunch of nuts to put in this cake. Well, she doesn't know that there's nuts in the cake. Apparently, she's allergic, so she starts having trouble breathing. The brother goes and rushes her to the car, rushes towards a hospital. There is something in the middle of the road on the way. The girl rolls down the window, sticks her head out to try to breathe. The car swerves
to miss whatever's in the middle of the road.
But there's a pole, like a telephone pole on the side of the road, knocks the little girl's head off, clean off her shoulders, which is like, I wasn't expecting that. She was such a heavily featured part in the trailer.
Yeah, but her presence in the film, she's actually only alive in the film for maybe the first hour.
No, it was like the first 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's fairly quick.
Fast.
It's fairly quick that she's gone.
And for 2 minutes, I was like this.
Well, speaking about lingering on the character's expression, after the hit, you don't see any of it.
You don't.
You see the son, played by a very excellent actor. I can't remember his name, but he was also in Jumanji.
Yeah, he was the kid from... Oh my gosh. So I liked him in Jumanji. He just blew me away.
Yeah. He's really good.
There's so many emotions that he plays so perfectly.
Right.
And it's so sad.
And you follow his face, where he attempts to look in the rearview mirror, but then he averts his eyes because he knows. Because now it's absolutely silent. Yeah. She had been hyperventilating, and had been very loud and very panicked, very chaotic, as they were rushing to the hospital. But now it's dead silent.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't look in the rearview mirror. He drives home.
He tries to, and then he
can't.
And he has like a single tear come down, and then you see his foot slowly get off the brake, and then go on the gas and slowly
drives
accelerate.
back home.
And then he does it whenever he gets home, he as quietly as possible, and like just with this blank, ghastly look on his face, he goes straight to his bedroom, lays down, and he doesn't sleep the whole night. But then you cut back to him, and it's the morning time, and his face is the exact same way. His eyes are still open.
There were a few of those shots where they focus on the character at nighttime, and then there's an abrupt cut to daytime. Yeah. And that's that was another, effective. Yeah, that was another pretty jarring effect that they used throughout the film. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
And this is probably like the most this whole sequence is like the most gut-wrenching in the film for me.
It's very unsettling.
What it ends with is super unsettling, but even before that is just perfect. So he goes, and then he lays down, and he hears his mom
getting up in the morning.
She's getting up in the morning to go to the store, or go to work, or whatever. And it doesn't cut away. You just stay on his face, and you hear her starting to wail out because she sees her daughter.
Blood-curdling screams.
Oh my goodness, it's so. But you see his face, and I think it's. I like how they filmed that scene, because it's an interesting thing to express in a film the how he doesn't deal with it, and it's really sad, but he doesn't deal with it. He wants to put it off as long as possible, almost like the longer he puts it off, the more he doesn't have to face the truth that it happened.
Right, and also during that time, because of that, the director's also lulling us into a false sense of security that we're not actually going to be seeing what happened.
Right.
Like, we're not actually going to be seeing the outcome, but what happens.
Then it cuts to, like, abruptly. Like, I'm thinking it's going to go to the mom wailing, it's going to go to the dad getting out of the room. No, cut to silence, and you see the daughter's head on the side of the road, mangled and with like ants crawling on it. It's probably
eating away at her face.
And and her face is smashed up because it hit a pole. But while he was like rushing as fast as he could to the hospital, I think it shows the speedometer. He was going like 80 miles per hour. So it was so unsettling. It was so unsettling. It's one, even though it probably hasn't been the most graphic thing I've seen in a movie, it was one of the more unsettling things I've ever seen in a movie.
Definitely.
And that all comes down just to the editing and the sound design. And I mean, I feel like it cut to silence, but I feel like maybe you could have heard the like ants crawling on it on her head.
Everything about the film, the entire storytelling, the family drama, the psychological torture that Toni Collette and her family go through, and then the eventual build-up to the suburban Satanists.
Yeah,
Closet Satanists.
So traditionally, if you would tell me the idea of the film, it would be like, okay, that came out of third place. But like I said, by the time you get to it and you think the tension's going to let up, it's kind of already too late. It's so unsettling. Any time that the tension starts to break, he just raises the stakes. And even the last moments where we have what's the guy's name? The dad.
Gabriel Byrne is the
Gabriel
actor's
Byrne.
name.
His last few moments in the film are really sad because that's whenever he really starts breaking apart and he just can't deal with it anymore.
Because he realized that he's just been enabling his crazy wife's mental deterioration. So he's not going to help her anymore. He's not going to enable her anymore. He's going to get her help.
Yeah. And then
too late.
Then he gets set ablaze in a ghastly way. And I actually really like that scene just because it was more emotionally devastating than it was anything else. All in all, it wasn't too graphic of a scene. I mean, he was engulfed in flames and he's not like screaming. At least I can't remember.
She is.
She's screaming, but he's kind of like in shock. But it was more emotionally devastating than it was like bone chilling, which was really effective for that character. In the way that they had utilized him so far in the film, how they kind of played him low-key throughout, and they didn't break that tension in that scene, which I really appreciated also. You want to talk about the second super unsettling scene?
Which one? Oh my god. Okay.
Goodness, dude.
So mom goes full extra possession. Toni Collette's character is fully possessed by the
look in the corner on that one part.
Oh my gosh. So talk about shadows being used effectively.
Yeah. Before we get to that second unsettling
scene. After Gabriel burns up.
We have to. Okay, so to explain what it is in the film, it is a demon king that is the
one of the kings of hell. Yeah.
One of the kings of hell. That is the antagonist. Paimon. That is the antagonist. The trickster demon king of hell is the antagonist of the film, and
which I didn't know that there were other kings of hell. Pagans.
People will make up freaking pagans, right? They'll just make up whatever they want. It's basically a play on Loki, like a trickster demon kind of a thing.
A lot more graphic.
A lot more graphic and sadistic. Which makes it effective because whenever the kid looks into the side of the mirror, it's really effective to see how this antagonist is just toying with these people and like really enjoys it. It's really sadistic, kind of the mental ropes that he just puts these people through. So go ahead with that.
So Toni Collette, after Gabriel burns up.
Gabriel burns.
After Gabriel burns up, Toni Collette's character goes full possession mode, which
Yeah.
some have actually said. I've read a couple of theories, and some say that she's possessed from the moment that she has her seance with the family.
Oh.
Some have said that. That she just remains possessed, but it's masquerading as her. Which is why after he burns up, it like kicks into full gear. But at that point, she's straight up demon. She's climbing on the walls. She's practically flying. And at one point, the son is sleeping in bed, and the audience has this shot of him in bed, and it's very dark. And it takes you a second to notice it.
I didn't even notice it. He told me.
But you notice Toni Collette in the top corner.
So it cuts to a wide shot. This movie utilizes wide shots in a magnificent fashion.
Absolutely.
And in most horror movies, they don't do it like this. But so it cuts to a wide shot of him on the side of you're looking at the side of his bed, and he gets up and he just is kind of like sitting on his bed like that. And then in the upper corner, you see Toni Collette's character just like Spider-Manning it, all creepy in the shadows. And then he turns around and then she like crawls away on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it was so effective.
Anyway, it was. She ends up chasing him. I don't know what demon she was possessed by. I don't think it was Paimon, because supposedly Paimon was in The Daughter, and it wasn't until he died that he got the spirit into him. Whereas she was still alive at that point that he died.
I will say that this movie does not connect the dots for you,
which is part of what makes it so unsettling. It's
one
of those things that keeps the wheels spinning in your head as you try to figure it out.
You're like, what happened?
But anyway, she chases him up into the attic, and there's one of those other scenes that you're talking about, like the gimmicky looking horror scenes where she's banging her head.
Oh my gosh. But the thing is, you hear this knocking. So he hides up in the attic, and then all of a sudden you start hearing. I watched the trailer one time in theaters, and I completely forgot about it. I'm so glad I didn't watch it again, because there's some kind of misleading stuff, and so like the old lady, you know that she's not going to be a good person.
Right.
If you watch the trailer. I'm glad I didn't go back and watch the trailer whenever we decided to go. It was a spur of the moment thing. But you start hearing this pounding on the once the kid is up in the attic, safe away from the mom. But then it cuts to a shot of her just banging her head, and that was effective. That you heard it and then you saw it.
Yeah. Because
at that point you want to know what it is.
So he's wandering through, and you got a whole other plot that we haven't even talked about. And to get fully into it at this point, I think we'd be here all night.
Probably.
But the suburban Satanists are showing up naked.
Honestly, I was so unsettled I didn't even notice.
Yeah. Well,
and they're all old.
The kid is walking, and he gets hit with something, and you start hearing, make that noise again. Well, he looks up, and his mom, Toni Collette, is floating at the top of the ceiling. It's one of those colonial attics with the high ceilings,
super tall,
and
so it's looking straight up.
She's floating in the air. She's looking down at him. She's got wire wrapped around her neck, and she's slicing her own neck off.
And it starts off slow. And then it gets, disgustingly fast. Until finally...
Yeah, so he's freaking out, but then he sees these naked people, and so he jumps out the window.
Yes, which is exactly what I would have done.
And
it reminds me of Josh Hartnett's part in The Faculty when
he falls and presumably dies, and you still hear you hear Toni Collette's going at it again still, and until eventually her body drops, and then you see it fly off, and Paimon possesses.
So the way they show the spirits, I really liked.
There's this light.
Yeah, so the way that they show the spirits, it's almost like if you do your phone and do a reflection off the sun and it shines on the wall. They do a lot like that, but then there's parts where it also and it shows in the trailer, it makes a line expands, all the way around the hallway and then goes down a room. You know what? That's got to be a deleted scene, because there's a part whenever someone is waving to him in the office. You remember that part? And then I was like, what's going to happen? Then it cuts to a completely different part. The mom in the office.
Right.
So I really like the way that they represented that idea. So you see the little reflection glare thing go over into over the boy's body. Presumably he's at least almost dead. He's mostly dead, and then it just kind of like dissolves into him, and then he gets up.
Yeah, and at this point, you accept that he's possessed now by Paimon, and that all the evil people as one.
You would accept that, but he doesn't act like he's still acting like the boy.
Yeah, he's still really like kind of
like what's going
confused.
on. Yeah.
He does make the click noise though. Yeah, he does make that noise. And,
so what is that noise then?
I don't know.
There's a lot. Like I said, this movie it has some exposition scenes, but it doesn't connect the dots.
So he goes up to the treehouse where his sister slept after the grandmother, who was the head of this satanic cult. And after her grandmother dies, the daughter slept there. And after the daughter dies, Toni Collette's character sleeps up there. So he goes up there, and that's where the cult is. That's where the grandmother's headless body and now Toni Collette's headless body are posed bowing along with all the naked cult members.
Weirdos. Honestly, I didn't even notice. I was just so like, oh my gosh. And then you see it.
You see
the grotesque imagery comes back in a horrible way.
The daughter's head is on top of like a mannequin body with a crown.
So you see the daughter making like some kind of at this point we know she's making like an idol. And then you see like a full-size version of this idol with the daughter's head mounted on top of it.
And I didn't even recognize that it was the daughter's head. It had decomposed so much at this point.
I noticed. And it was like, oh, I was like, oh, not this again. But it never fully goes like, is he fully possessed or anything like that?
Yeah, so they remove the crown from her head and place it on his, and they do the whole Hail Paimon.
Hail Paimon
thing.
I need to go home and read the Bible after that.
It's a creepy movie.
It is a creepy movie, but it's the first horror movie I'd seen it's probably since Sinister that I really enjoyed.
It's really good.
I really liked Sinister.
I give it fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's a great movie.
Really
and
good movie.
I enjoy good horror movies. Like really good, unique storytelling horror movies. And some people may say that Hereditary is not unique. I disagree. I think that it's a beautifully directed, really well acted, great story. I think it's awesome. And I'm definitely going to have to see it again at least once.
I kind of want to go see it again. Really to enjoy it a little bit more because I was just so stressed out the first time I saw it. But now I feel like I can actually appreciate the little bits in it a little bit better. And I think as great as Toni Collette was, I still think the standout was the son.
Yeah.
I think he portrayed all of these emotions so well. And they utilize his character to express some things that you don't see expressed in movies in general that well.
Right.
Like I said, the idea of the unwillingness to not deal with something as long as possible. I think that's something that a lot of people deal with. Obviously, not in such a horrific
Especially
way.
A kid too. You know,
yeah.
It makes sense for a kid like that. And then whenever he has his own allergic reaction panic attack after his sister dies, and he just asks his friend to hold his hand.
Yeah, oh dude, some good stuff.
It's a good
really
movie.
Great storytelling.
Go see it.
Go see it if you're old enough.
Yes.
And if you're not susceptible to night, I'm glad Melissa didn't go see it.
Do you think it would have bothered her?
Oh, it probably would have really bothered her. Oh. Which, I mean, honestly, it bothered me a little bit. But for as horrific the movie is, it does seem to respect the storyline a little more than just throwing away or just it just doesn't seem like it's just trying to hold on to that shock value. It seems like it really respects those couple of moments that you get.
Yeah.
And builds the film like almost like in Sicario, Denis Villeneuve, he builds up to action scene that lasts he builds up to an action scene for about 20 minutes, and the action scene only lasts about like 30 seconds. But it's so good. The suspense building up to it was flawless. Flawless. So this film we rate flawless victory.
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome. One of my favorite movies that I've seen this year so far.
Definitely. Crazy how great he did, because he normally just directs short films.
Yeah, but his shorts are pretty disturbing.
I haven't seen his short films.
His shorts are really disturbing.
Should we do a reaction video? Comment if you want a reaction video of his short films.
Yeah, Jenna.
Yeah, Jenna and Adam. Don't forget to check out Adam's channel, The Toes Knows, where he does some he's been doing reaction films lately. He did one of the Bumblebee trailer. I'm very excited for the classic looking set designs that they have.
He did one for the Spider-Man.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
We're all excited to see
I'm
Miles
excited
Morales
to see
get
that.
his own movie, because he's such a compelling character.
He is.
He is. And what else? What else? I think that's it. You know what I'm glad? I'm glad Miles Morales Spider-Man wasn't made like 10 years ago, because you know who probably would have played him?
No.
Jaden Smith. And I'm so glad he's too old to play that character now.
Cool.
You're not?
No, yeah, I am, for sure.
Anyways.
Dude, what time is it, man?